nerd! How are you? Welcome to the Nerd Sensei channel. In today's video, we will talk about the power of all the Mangekyous shown in Naruto, analyzing not only the powers of each Mangekyou Sharingan, but also how each character achieved it. The Mangekyou is the supreme doujutsu of the Uchiha clan that is awakened by witnessing the loss of someone very close to the Sharingan user. Upon awakening it, in addition to enhancing the basic abilities of the Sharingan itself, the user also receives some exclusive powers of the Mangekyou that can vary from user to user, and we will talk about each of them here in order of appearance, okay? So, the first Mangekyou we'll discuss in this video is Itachi Uchiha's. Itachi was the first shown in the series to use the doujutsu, still in Naruto Classic. Itachi awakened his Mangekyou Sharingan after witnessing the sacrifice of Shisui by throwing himself off a cliff. As for his power, Itachi has one of the most powerful Mangekyous ever shown so far, because besides having access to the black and unextinguishable flames of Amaterasu, he also has access to Tsukuyomi, an extremely overwhelming genjutsu that allows altering the user's perception of time, making just a few seconds become days for those affected by this genjutsu. Just to remind you, he was so powerful that when Itachi used it on Kakashi, the copy ninja was rendered ineffective in just a few moments. Thought that was not enough? Itachi still has access to one of the most overpowering Susanoos ever seen, where he has access to the Totsuka sword that can seal anyone the sword strikes and the Yata mirror capable of reflecting any attack. Seriously, are you going to say that Itachi isn't totally overpowering with this Mangekyou? Now we're going to talk about two beings who share the same Mangekyou Sharingan, Kakashi and Obito. They activated their Mangekyous at the same time, witnessing Rin's death. And although the same Mangekyou is present in different users, both have the same appearance and also very similar powers. This Mangekyou gives the user the ability to use Kamui, a space-time doujutsu that grants the user abilities such as teleportation and, in Obito's case, even intangibility. Each eye of this Mangekyou gives a specific ability to Kamui, with Kakashi's left eye allowing him to use Kamui at long range, giving him the ability to teleport those within his visual range. However, using Kamui drains Kakashi a lot, so he cannot use it many times in a single day. Obito's right eye gives the user not only the ability to teleport, although this is short range requiring Obito to have physical contact with the target to teleport it, but also the ability of intangibility, where Obito can transport part of his body or his entire body to the Kamui dimension, making him intangible to any attacks. Now you must be wondering what happens when both eyes are with only one user, and this happened to Kakashi, where he received both of Obito's eyes so that he could face Kaguya. This allowed him to activate a Susanoo so powerful that it could rival even Itachi's, with his Susanoo not only being in complete form, but also having access to Kamui's Shuriken, a technique where the Susanoo creates shurikens with Kamui's properties, and upon hitting the target, they teleport everything they hit. Now let's talk about Uchiha Madara's Mangekyou Sharingan. It's not exactly known what event led to the awakening of his Mangekyou, however. He was the first Uchiha shown to have achieved the Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan by transplanting his brother Izuna's eyes. We know that Uchiha Madara had a power capable of rivaling the shinobi god Hashirama. However, we don't have information about the exclusive techniques of his Mangekyou Sharingan, with the only exclusive technique we saw Madara use with his Mangekyou being his Susanoo. And this Susanoo is simply too overpowering, as Madara's complete form, Susanoo was able to easily cut mountains with just the swing of its sword. Madara was also seen as being able to merge his own Susanoo with a Biju, as seen in his fight against the first Hokage. Taking advantage of talking about Madara, let's talk about his brother Izuna. Izuna was seen as being able to awaken his Mangekyou, however. We also didn't see the exclusive abilities of his doujutsu, as it was not shown in battle. The only thing we know is that besides contributing to his brother to obtain the Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, he was still considered very powerful, leading him to leadership positions within the Uchiha clan along with his brother Madara. The next Mangekyou on our list is Uchiha Sasuke's, one of the most powerful Mangekyous seen so far. Sasuke awakened his Mangekyou after witnessing his brother's death and knowing all the sacrifices he made for Sasuke and Konoha's sake. Sasuke was also one of the only Uchihas to awaken the Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, which gave an even greater power-up to his already overpowering Mangekyou. Just take a look at this. With his Mangekyou, Sasuke becomes a master of blaze release, with his left eye allowing him to use Amaterasu, while his right eye allows him to use Kagutsuchi, which is the transformation of the form of Amaterasu's black flames, being able not only to extinguish them, but also to use them for both attack and defense. As if that wasn't enough, Sasuke also has access to one of the most powerful Susanoo in the entire series, As we see in his fight against Naruto, he could use the chakra of all the bijus to further strengthen his Susanoo, which easily surpassed the power of Naruto's normal Kurama mode. This Susanoo was so powerful that it was only faced on equal terms by Naruto's Asura mode Kurama. The next Mangekyou we'll analyze here is Uchiha Shisui's. It's not shown how Shisui manages to achieve his Mangekyou, however, it enables him to use one of the most powerful genjutsus, if not the most powerful of the entire series, his Koto wa Matsukami. This completely badass doujutsu is a genjutsu that doesn't require visual contact and still manipulates the user's mind without them knowing they're being manipulated. Seriously, this genjutsu is so crazy that the opponent takes actions thinking they're of their own free will and not being manipulated. Shisui still has access to the Susanoo as shown in his fight against Danzo. Now let's talk about the predecessor of all Uchihas, Indra Otsutsuki. Indra was the first user of the Mangekyou and has an interesting fact. In the manga, he was shown with a Mangekyou visual different from the anime itself, as in the animation, he is seen with a visual identical to Sasuke's. In the anime, he was shown as having achieved the Mangekyou after eliminating his only 2 followers. Right after that, he goes to confront Ashura, where he shows he's capable of using not only Amaterasu, but also Susanoo in its complete form. Now we'll talk about the Mangekyous outside the canonical sagas of Naruto Classic and Naruto Shippuden, meaning we'll analyze a bit about those shown in Boruto and filler sagas of Naruto. In Boruto, we have Shin Uchiha's Mangekyou Sharingan. Although not an actual Uchiha, but rather an experiment of Orochimaru, he was able to obtain the Mangekyou Sharingan in a still unknown way. His Mangekyou allows telekinetic manipulation of objects, which was shown in his fight against Naruto and Sasuke. Finally, we'll briefly analyze here the Mangekyou Sharingans shown in fillers, namely those of Fugaku, Naka, Baru, Rai, and Naori Uchiha. Fugaku awakened the Mangekyou after witnessing the death of his friend. Not much is known about their powers, however. It's seen that Fugaku was very confident that he could easily control the Kyuubi with his Mangekyou. Lastly, we have the Mangekyous of Naka, Baru, Rai, and Naori. It was not shown how they awakened their respective Mangekyous and nor what their powers were, as they were introduced in the anime as filler when Itachi was explaining to Sasuke about Izanami and Izanagi. It's also worth mentioning here that both Izanami and Izanagi are not exclusive techniques of the Mangekyou, given that it was shown that even the basic level Sharingans that Danzo had in his arm were capable of using Izanagi without problems. And that's basically it, nerd. Did you enjoy the video? Did you already know about all the Mangekyous? Leave it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next video,